carpal tunnel syndrome. First phase of one carpal tunnel syndrome. Are you aroused by carpal tunnel syndrome? That would be weird. Not to be judgmental, but it would be weird.
Okay, so welcome to Night Vale panel. So basically how this panel's gonna go is that we have a script here, obviously, and on that side, please. Thank you. And so we're gonna do a little skit. Well, not little. It's like a full last episode. And then there's gonna be some trivia, which if you were at the Fusion panel last year sometime, you would remember these.
October.
They are little handmade glow clouds. That have smiles on them. Yeah, and so if you win a trivia question and you accept one of these prizes, I unfortunately can't attest to your mental freedom afterwards, but I can probably promise you that you won't cause any bodily harm to yourself or others under its control. It's kind of a crapshoot though. And I have a lot of bests, so yeah. And then afterwards, if we still have time, there will be discussion of Welcome to Night Vale. And this is not a spoiler for you panel, so we'll be discussing the most recent episode and condos, even though it's a paper episode, whatever. This script was based off of the March 15th one, since 3 days is not enough time to write an entire script after the April 1st one. And there are a bunch of coincidental things in my script and in the April 1st episode, which just proves that I'm actually Cecil. So,
True.
yeah. So we're gonna start. After I pull up the music. The witching hour is upon us, but you won't be hearing any disembodied voices. Tonight, those voices are all too real. Welcome to Night Vale. Tonight, we have some very special guests for a very special broadcast. Unfortunately, not all are here. The broadcast tonight was supposed to feature two people from Desert Bluffs, someone you've heard before on the show, though unwittingly. Daniel, my producer, insisted that I do a show with the Desert Bluffs radio host Kevin and his intern Vanessa, in honor of the StrexCorp throwing a carnival for both our lovely towns. More on that later. However, Kevin and Vanessa have failed to appear, and we are scheduled to broadcast now, so here we are. Beside me are the other two special guests for this broadcast, my lovely, perfect Carlos and my intern Dana, who has managed to find a shimmer to communicate with us across the planes of existence that so tragically separate us. She's a little flickery though, and gray. Regardless, I am just happy she is here.
Thank you, Cecil. I'm glad to be here. That shimmer was not easy to find, let me tell you, but I made it. Not sure how long it'll last or how gray I'm gonna get, but I'll stay until it fades.
Let's hope that it lasts for a while longer. And you, my lovely listeners, you are a part of this broadcast. There will be time later for you to call in and ask us questions about anything you would like to know. Except, of course, the blue figures on the outskirts of town and the whereabouts of cheese. But before that, some news. As you may remember, or not, from my previous broadcast, Kaushik was attacked by the strong machine that was Strex's pet. A machine which was taken and thrown into the burning quicksand wastes out in our desert. A machine which will henceforth never be seen again and will never harm another living soul. Kaushik is back in his fixed place, floating about 4 feet above the ground in the men's bathroom. He is not the same. He will never be the same. But he is alive, and that's what matters. Kaushik.
Many of you have written in inquiring to the health of the kittens, which are now in fact cats, but do not worry. They were not harmed in the struggle and are as healthy as ever. I have seen them and they are fine. In fact, they're doing better than fine. They are as happy as ever and getting along swimmingly. Or floatingly? Yes, floatingly.
Thank you, Dana. We mustn't dwell on the past, for it is gone, dead as that accursed, as dead as that Strex pet. We look only to the future now, wondering what it brings, powerless to shape it.
Cecil, we're here. Sorry we're late. Ross opened our portal and forgot to put the directions onto our smartphones, so we had to wander aimlessly throughout the portal until it spat us out in our proper location. You know how it is. Hello, listeners.
But we're here now. Have you started yet?
Yes, Vanessa, we're in the middle of our broadcast, which you so rudely interrupted. Did you not see the on-air sign glowing behind us?
We did, but we didn't want to be any more late than we already were. That wouldn't be polite of us at all. Why, Cecil, you don't look so good. Does somebody need a friendly Desert Bluffs hug?
No, Kevin, I do not. Just take your seat and let's continue with this with no more interruptions. Suit yourself. And now for the community calendar. Dana?
This week is a very special week, as when we have many visitors from our sister city, Desert Bluffs, coming to visit. So let's all be respectful and nice to them. Keep in mind that they may have different greetings and cultural gestures than we do. Just be tolerant. Today they're arriving in town to prepare for the Sun Carnival tomorrow, which is Monday, the best day. StrexCorp is hosting it in Town Square. Be sure to check it out, especially since you know the consequences for failing to attend. Tuesday is the semi-annual Falling Day, when everyone in Night Vale will be transported to a bottomless pit for 12 hours. It's so much fun. I'm glad our Desert Bluff friends will be there to experience it. Wednesday is not creative. Everyone must wear green, and anyone caught painting, drawing, sculpting, or doing anything else of the sort will be rounded up by the Sheriff's Secret Police and detained indefinitely. Thursday is the Fanatic Domain meeting. Friday is the monthly science meeting. Carlos, will you tell us about that?
Well, that monthly science meeting is open to the public. It's where I and my fellow scientists, along with anyone who's interested, meet and talk about all the strange things that are going on in Night Vale. We catalog and discuss them and try to make sense of significantly town, with oversight from the Sheriff's Secret Police, of course.
It is all very interesting.
Ooh, Kevin, we should go to that.
That sounds great. We can learn all the ins and outs of this little town and oh, I have an idea. Vanessa, do you think my boyfriend would like to come to this? He's into science too, you know.
Oh, of course. I mean, we should invite him.
If you two are done gossiping, may we continue with the broadcast?
Oh, of course. My apologies, Cecil.
Speaking of StrexCorp's Sun Carnival on Monday, I have a word from the corporation to announce.
We weren't speaking of it, but fine. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of living a dull, dreary life? Do you long for a purpose? Unfulfilled, do you dream of pleasing a smiling God? Is the smiling God pleased with you? Is the smiling God's smile dripping with the life-giving fluid that runs through our veins? Is it from your veins? Unfulfilled, do you want to be happy? How would you like to feel weightless, floating in a warm, black void? How would you like to feel weightless, floating in a cold, black void, feeling the life-giving fluid drip, drip, drip from the smiling God's mouth onto your forehead? Unfulfilled, how would you like to achieve perfection? It's easy, my friend. Abandon your ambitions. Appease the smiling God. Work hard. Work often. Work harder. StrexCorp Synergists Incorporated. Look around you. Strex. Look inside you. Strex. Go to sleep. Strex. Believe in a smiling God. StrexCorp. It is everything.
Fantastic. We've just received reports of Desert Bluff citizens entering town to prepare for the carnival. I urge all Night Vale citizens to treat our guests with respect and to not instigate quarrels. We are all friends here, and should you meet someone familiar, please act kindly. They are our honored guests for these days. Now, some of you may be wondering where all of them are going to stay. I'm sure you've noticed StrexCorp building a wonderful new hotel in our little town. The grand opening is today, and it will be taking in our Desert Bluffs guests. And let me remind you, no Night Vale citizens are allowed inside the hotel. Do not go in the hotel.
It really is too bad you can't come inside. When I'm on vacation, the Strex Suites Hotel is my favorite place to go. It's got everything a Desert Bluff citizen could ever want or need, including bright windows to let the sun shine in as you pray to the smiling God. It is so, so beautiful. So bloody beautiful.
Yes, it is very beautiful.
Are you positive that absolutely no Night Valians are allowed inside? That would be disappointing if my dearest couldn't join me.
There were express orders from StrexCorp that no Night Vale citizens are to be allowed inside. I thought you, of all people, would know that.
I just thought there would have been a few exceptions. Oh well, rules are rules.
Indeed. You can take it up with StrexCorp. Moving on. Now it's time for the Children's Fun Fact Science Corner, presented by the expert scientist himself, my sweet, lovely Carlos.
Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen birds? Have you ever wondered how those birds fly? Well, I have, so I researched them in the library, or at least I tried to. I couldn't seem to find any books on birds, just helicopters. So I caught a few birds, but I realized that the birds in Night Vale are not like the birds from where I'm from. They're different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but they just seemed different. I studied them for many days, and I couldn't put my finger on it either. So I decided to dissect them. It was then that I made a stunning discovery. The birds aren't alive at all. They're robotic. Robotic birds. I couldn't believe it. All gears and wires and metal, and they're
Indescribable. So please, everyone, eat your apples. The Community Health Board would like to say, everyone, dear God, eat your apples.
I think you mean, dear smiling God, eat your apples.
Yeah, that.
In other news, recently we've seen a rise in one of Night Vale's more popular cults, the Fanatic Domain. They have... Is that your phone, Kevin? Turn it off during broadcast.
Sorry, let me just, this'll be real quick, I promise.
Dear Lord.
Hello? Oh, hey, Steve, baby.
Wait, Steve? Steve Carlsberg?
Yeah. Listen, sweetie, I'm kind of doing a show right now. Yeah, that's right, that's the place, live audience and everything. This is kind of important. What? You're where? I see you!
Steve.
I cannot believe this. Let's just go to the weather. And now, this is the part where you can call in and ask us questions. Please do not ask anything explicit, as there may be children, angels, or fragile-minded citizens in the audience. Other than that, you may ask anyone here anything that crosses your thought-soaked mind. Even Steve Carlsberg, I suppose. Now, who was the first question?
Me?
This is supposed to be the listener's participation part of the broadcast. Fine. What do you want to ask, Evan?
I wrote you a poem.
When did you find time to write a poem?
Silly Cecil, time isn't real.
Oh, that's right.
Bloodstones are red, the clear sky is blue, the glow clouds omnipotent, our smiling God is too. The world isn't perfect, and one day it will end. But hey, in the meantime, will you be my best friend?
Ew.
Do I have to?
No, you don't have to.
Fine. And now, do any listeners have questions for us? You and the flower crown were very...
Hypothetically, if after Richard Nixon's supposed death, he in fact simply scooted his life force into other living objects, such as ants, spiders, and other human beings, would he be welcome in Night Vale? And would you call him Nixon the Vixen upon request?
Everyone is welcome in Night Vale, and they can call themselves whatever they please.
Even our visitors in that hotel.
Unfortunately. You in the Batman shirt back there. Oh. Okay, you in the white then. Yes? I suppose, as long as it's not a Desert Bluffs hug.
Desert Bluffs hugs.
I quite enjoyed the Bluffs hugs.
It's going to be a rainy day.
This is a PG-13 panel. Little link in the back.
Kevin, how did you and Steve meet and when did you fall in love?
Oh, this is my favorite story.
Well, it all started during the sandstorm. As you all remember, I received an email from Steve Carlsberg, and I thought to myself, you know, he seems like a pretty pleasant guy. So I just looked him up on Facebook and we started chatting, and we hit it off instantly. And it's thanks to him that I finally got to see beautiful, beautiful Night Vale, and he is beautiful himself.
Aren't they just the cutest?
He's not as perfect as my Carlos, though.
Watch your mouth, boy.
No. Next question. Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
why are you absolutely the worst person and you always ruin everyone's fun?
Now, I don't ruin everyone's fun.
Yes.
You really
Everyone.
I just do what I feel is right.
Which is wrong.
Well, to me it's right, and thus it should be to you.
Oh, he's that guy.
No.
Yeah, notebook.
Are other neighboring towns allowed in for your festival?
I don't see why not, if you happen to be visiting Night Vale during the time of the Sun Carnival. Someone's being murdered outside.
That's normal.
That's normal.
That's Desert Bluffs.
Normal for Desert Bluffs, which I guess is normal for us now, unfortunately. Yeah, you in the front.
This is a question for you and Carlos. How is living in the condo going?
We are not living in a condo. We're living in an apartment. There's a big difference. The condos were not what we hoped. As to answer your question,
We're doing just great.
it's really good. Someone in the back. Yeah, you in the back.
Yeah, long time was their first time caller. When will the noises stop?
Short answer, never.
Is there a long answer?
Really never.
Eternally never. All right, you right there in the aisle.
So, Carlos, before you started dating Cecil, how did you feel about him broadcasting about you and talking about you on air?
Well, to be honest, it was kind of cute, but I wasn't going to admit that anytime soon. I mean, while I was working with my fellow scientists, sometimes when he would say something that was adorable about me, I might accidentally break a beaker or two.
It's true love. Yeah, you in the army.
So, wow, went right out of my head.
Sorry, the glow clouds do that
Carlos,
sometimes.
what are your plans for dinner tonight?
Plan on getting some good old pizza and sharing it with
Wheatless pizza, of course.
yes, wheatless pizza.
And no wheat byproducts.
No, not that either. Yeah, in the way back.
Cecil, when you lose your eye, was it very
I never really grew the third eye. It was just kind of there, kind of how you have 2 arms and some people have 3 heads, and I have 3 eyes.
Do you know anyone who has bodies?
My best friend does.
Her best friend does. Next question. Yeah.
What happened to the former station managers?
They have been relocated.
Also noteworthy, you do not want to go in the empty lot behind Big Rico's Pizza anytime soon.
No, steer clear of that whole area, actually. Yeah, you in the front.
How has the Strex imposed ban on bloodstone circles affected your daily life? They were pretty much everywhere, now they're gone. Has it made trips to Radon Canyon less scenic?
Yes, they've been less scenic. We're getting less tourism in that area. But as good Night Vale citizens, we are learning to adapt to any new rules that StrexCorp has imposed on us.
I have actually found it easier to occasionally make appearances as the use of bloodstones has gone down, although that doesn't exactly feel right.
Next question. You in the front.
Is there any word from the city about another summer reading program?
There has not been. Don't think there's ever going to be. Yeah, you with the paw.
Hey Carlos, how have your team of scientists adapted to living in Night Vale? We only really hear about you on the radio or on TV.
Well, other than me, there's about 2 others who come from outside of Night Vale. The rest have been here. And it's kind of hard to work with them since they don't understand much.
Little Link again.
Okay, Cecil, what are your thoughts on StrexCorp? And do you know how you can stop being magnetic to all things metal? I'm having that problem lately.
StrexCorp is taking our town in a new direction, which I think is not bad, and not horrible, and not evil in any way, shape, or form. As for the metal, I'm not sure. It kind of flicks on and off. I can't really control it. Next, okay, you in the red.
I have a question for Dana.
Yes.
Your imperial travels through all these planes, do you use that as an excuse to go to famous tourist places like Rome or Pluto?
Sadly, the planes of existence only apply to official planets, which is a shame because I really wanted to visit Pluto.
I've been there. It's rather nice.
But I have actually visited a couple very, very strange planets. If my brief glance in a mirror before it shattered tonight is any indication, I actually saw a bunch of people who look like I do now, except they had things coming out of their heads.
Like that?
Yeah. Except bigger, not so stubby. But that, of course, must have been an official planet.
since I can only go to those. It's a shame. I really wanted to visit Pluto. I had an itinerary like out to here.
Yeah, with the ears.
Yeah, I've had my chupacabra for 3 months now, and he's starting to get a little gloomy. So what can I do to cheer him up?
I'm sorry, that's not our division. You should talk to the animal management, not station radio.
Thought I asked.
Yes.
About the chupacabra, goat blood.
Thank you.
Apparently goat's blood. We have someone from animal management here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see you're animalistic yourself, so that makes sense. Sure, in the back.
Yeah, I'm here to call it. The noises mostly are intensifying. I'm not really sure what to make of them.
You might want to see a witch doctor about that. It might be able to help.
Do you have a good one that you recommend?
There's one on Old Musk Road and like 57th, I think.
Is that over by the? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But I'm no doctor, and I do not pretend to be, so don't take my word for it. In the front.
Well, first of all, if that noise is a drumming noise, you should leave. And second of all, Carlos, as an outsider from this town, what do you think of the small town rivalry?
I think it's quite fascinating to watch these two towns absolutely hate each other and try and
We don't hate each other.
We totally do, but that's not the point.
We're all friends here. We all love each other.
And then a mutual dislike for each other, even though one seems to like the other.
But we don't dislike you.
We enjoy you very, very much. And besides, you are my best friend.
Sure. Next question. You're in the back again, Little Link.
Okay, if Kevin was born and raised in Night Vale, would you two really be best friends? I mean, more than you are now, of course.
I suppose so. In fact, if I was raised alongside Cecil, I might go so far as to call ourselves twins.
Possibly. But that is an alternate universe, so you should talk to the community board of alternate universes to figure that out. A in the back.
Okay, so how do all of you, like, how do you guys know if you do or do not have a third or possibly fifth eye somewhere on the body?
Ooh, well, the fifth eye is always on your pinky toe.
That's kind of a giveaway, so if you don't have an eye on your pinky toe, you can relatively be sure that you don't have any more than 4. But they're kind of hard to find sometimes. It usually stings if you take a shower and you get soap in it. So you can pretty much figure that out.
One of my classmates in middle school had one on her uvula.
That's the thing in the back of your throat, for those of you who don't know.
Yes. She could see next to nothing.
Yeah, you have had your hand up for a while.
Carlos, your voice sounds a little different. Were you worried about throat spiders? Is there like an infestation going around among scientists? I mean, like, because I'm a mathematician and I worry a little because I know scientists have to replace their vocal cords every once in a while. Do you think mathematicians should worry about this also?
Anything that doesn't relate to someone's throat or personal health, they should be worried about, and go to an actual doctor outside of both towns.
What's that supposed to mean?
We are, in fact, trying to keep the doctors away. Apples, everyone.
Right, the apples.
Witch doctors, perfectly acceptable. Witch doctors.
Yeah. Alright, in the front again.
What is proper procedure for a geography teacher who simply will not stop talking about mountains?
You should contact the sheriff's secret police. And like any good mountain non-believer, do not believe any of her lies. She is sent from somewhere else that you don't want to know. She's trying to corrupt your mind. So yeah, report her. Just like a good citizen. You over there.
Vanessa, are you the original or more than doubled, and how has this affected your productivity?
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Until it will.
Next question? Yeah.
Yeah, are there any rumors, truth to the rumors, of an underground bare-knuckle boxing club called Welcome to Fight Vale?
We don't talk about Fight Vale. Rule number 1 of Fight Vale.
Yeah, you in the back again. Full of questions.
Okay, for each of you, what is the most terrifying thing you've ever experienced?
Mountains.
For me, it'd have to be coming to this town for the first time.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll explain to you later. Where it's a little bit more safer than speaking to these people.
Okay, I think my most terrifying moment was when Carlos was in the condo and I had to go and get him, and it was so hard to resist that perfect life. But I did, and now we are here, and now we are safe-ish.
Well, one week in Desert Bluffs, it was StrexCorp Collar Week, where we get our usual dosage of StrexCorp medicine that keeps us happy. And the power went out, and the bracelet turned off, and I became very, very sad and scared. But after a couple of days, the power turned back on, and now I feel excellent.
I'd have to say, probably the first time I received a Desert's Bluff hug. But now I just love them oh so very, very much.
Are you sure it's a hug you're getting?
Yes. Yes, I am.
As for my scariest moment, I'd probably have to agree with Kevin. That was a dark day in Desert Bluffs for all of us. Very dark day.
You've had your hand up for a while.
Yes, I was wondering, when you lose your teeth in Night Vale, do you get moved to the tooth fairy, or is she not allowed there, like, is the airspace restricted?
There's no tooth fairy in Night Vale. The sheriff's secret police insist that all teeth be turned over to them, and we're not quite sure why. We're in the, third row.
Oh, Carlos, was there any laws when you came here that you found hard to go by?
Between you and me, I'd have to say it was actually all of them.
Well, even the weekly required visits to Big Rico's Pizza?
That's the only one that I can find acceptable on days.
That ended why, right?
Yeah.
This one's for Kevin. I heard rumors that in Desert Bluffs that they believe in mountains. Is this true?
Not quite mountains so much as sand dunes. We love sand. We love it very much. And we're on a project to count how many grains of sand are in the desert altogether. We're making great progress until someone sneezes.
And while some of those sand dunes can get pretty hot, can get pretty tall, they do get smaller with the next gust of wind.
So not mountains.
Not mountains.
Not mountains. Good. Yeah, you in the back again.
Kevin, kind of what Aaron did or after he got out of that hiking, are you sure you're okay?
I want my mother back.
Well, dear listeners, at last the time has come. All good things must end, as they say. Who is they, you ask? Well, that question must be answered at a different time. We thank you for your own questions. May the answers give you peace of mind and heart and lungs. But for now, good night, Night Vale. Good night.
Can I just say one last thing before we bid our listeners goodbye?
Fine, go ahead.
I would just like to say what an honor it has been doing this broadcast with you. And I want you and all of Night Vale to know that this has been, without a doubt, the best broadcast I have ever taken part in. And I just want to thank you so much for letting this happen. And you, dear listeners, well, I hope that this broadcast has made your heart feel just as warm as mine. May it keep you warm tonight as you sleep, and may that happiness carry on forever.
Thank you, Kevin, for those parting words. Stay tuned next for a 12-hour-long broadcast of otherworldly whispering too quiet to understand, but just loud enough to hear, accompanied by a burning desire to know what the voices are saying. Does anyone have a proverb we can use? Because I forgot to write.
Draco dormiens numquam titiliandus.
Woo!
Draco dormiens numquam titiliandus.
Thank you.
Never tickle a sleeping dragon.
All right, now it's trivia time. This is how it's going to work. We have trivia, as you can see. Moving this fast, you can't see the answers. And there are a couple really hard questions. And so, like, if you get the hard questions completely right, like there are 3 answers or so to some questions, and if you get all of them, you can get one of these lovely, I have to turn them around so they can see. One of these lovely drawings our Kevin has made. There's one with a Desert Bluffs hug. And then there's a Strex pet. And Koshik. And Glow Cloud, obviously, the actual one. These are just his babies. And then there's one with Cecil and Carlos. But if you don't get all of it right on the first try, then you just get the Glow Cloud, which is still really good. And then no drawing can be given out for that one because half of the answers were already given. So we have, like, I don't know, 7 or so of hard questions and 5 drawings. Do you want to start the...
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll just go down the line. Yeah, you can. Just start with the first one.
Okay, okay. What happens when you eat one of John Peters, you know, the farmer's oranges?
Oh, crap. I already
Go with you in the purple there. Awesome. So
Story on that arm, Dana.
It got exactly far enough.
Would you like to do the second one?
Yes. Where is the woman from?
That one's first.
Yep.
Who secretly lives in your house?
No.
Wrong.
That's the old woman who has no face or
Oh,
something.
right.
I don't know who the second one is. Just pick one.
You over there.
Italy.
Yes.
Aiming for the clouds there. A little bit. Trying to take down the little birds.
Whose was this?
Yes,
Drawing
I
is
am.
not his strong suit. All right. I actually have more questions on my phone that I'm going to read. And these are kind of from not all of the episodes because I listened to them and pick out trivia, but I didn't listen to all of them. Okay, we'll just read one of these while it's loading. What said Cecil would be a radio host?
The tablet in the city council.
Close enough. It's City Hall. Whoops.
Nobody can draw on this tab.
These things are made of fluff. They're not aerodynamic.
You should have added
Just
weights
look
to it.
clouds, though. Did you get it? Okay, good.
What is Leonard's voice like? Here's a reminder. Leonard is the former radio host of Welcome to Night Vale.
Night Vale Community Radio.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Gonna go with you.
Me?
Yeah.
High pitched and screechy.
Close enough. It's high-pitched and grating, is what Cecil said.
What happened to young Cecil?
At the end of the episode, if you need. It was the cassette episode. Oh, that person over there.
Yeah, you?
The mirror was uncovered and then there was noise.
Sure. We'll go with that. That's a popular theory that he was strangled by whatever the flickering was in the sides of his eyes, or
Yeah,
whatever.
if they didn't see it or they didn't say it, I say we don't.
Yeah, you're gonna read that.
What or who is Megan Wallaby?
You had your hand up first?
He is a middle-aged man's hand. Well, not anymore, but she was at first.
That's another one of our trivia questions.
Oh, well then.
Things are not irrelevant.
This was a lot easier to do in Fusion when the room was a lot smaller.
That room was tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened when a computer was brought into the school? I think you were first.
It tried to make a perfect world for Megan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that'll
happened. Our answer is different, but that works.
Yeah.
It took over the
Caught
school's
it.
town and electricities until the janitors pulled the plug.
I like the
But yes,
perfect
that
world,
also
though.
happened.
Who is Tamika Flynn?
From a summer reading program,
Who else is she?
she killed a couple librarians.
Yeah, that's close enough. She's also the leader of the children's army. Wrong person. All right. Where was the submarine from in episode 40? Yeah, you were. That is correct. Oh, that's not gonna work. I got most of the way there.
What are the names the man in the tan leather jacket was called in episode 32?
There are 3 names, and if you get all 3, you get to pick a drawing.
Ernest? I can't remember the rest of them.
That's okay. You still get a glow cloud because you answered 1. They are Ernest, Everett, and Emmett. Do you want to throw it?
Don't put down, son.
Don't too high.
Kevin.
None of us are good at this.
I got it most of the way there.
Someone caught mine.
Dana can throw.
Dana's flickering in and out of existence.
That too.
Dana gets a couple chances to throw things.
What do the colors of the helicopters mean?
Oh, this is another hard one.
They are blue, black, yellow, and bird mule helicopters.
So if you get all 4, then you get a drawing.
Darkat?
So, I believe blue was world government, black was world government, and then secret police, desert bluffs, and no one knows what the bird mules are for.
Which one was Desert Bluffs and which one was the Secret Police, though?
Well, yellow is desert bluffs, obviously, and secret police was either black or blue, I think it was.
Well, you already corrected yourself to the right answer. So, yeah. Come pick a drawing. We have...
What did Carlos give Cecil for their 1-month anniversary?
A watch.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the one true timepiece in all of Night Vale.
What happens when you get 5 stamps on your alert citizenship card? She had it.
She knows.
Stop sign immunity for 1 year. Oh yeah.
That is exactly what it says on our
It
sheet.
hit your hand. Somehow.
What happens when you fill up 3 AC cards?
Alert citizenship cards.
You get taken away and you never come back.
Yes. You disappear forever.
Well,
I can't throw. Desi, you're magnetically attracted to these, apparently.
They love me.
you're
All right.
metallic.
Who is Lauren Mahler?
The new Jeffrey, or the new man thing.
Yes. That is correct. Oh, almost caught it.
Your circle. It's hit several hands.
Who is Cecil's new producer?
What? Oh, you skipped a bunch.
Oh, sorry. Someone said it.
Who said it? Oh. Nice catch, but not to the right person. Alright, start at the top.
What was in lot 37 in the Sheriff's Secret Police auction?
The notebook's hand was first, I
Yeah.
think.
It was Cecil.
That's correct. I'm still waiting for an explanation for that.
About that.
Hey, somebody actually caught one.
Yay! Hey, several people have caught mine.
Who
Not mine.
is the town's billionaire and local celebrity?
I get another?
You can answer it, but you won't get another.
Anybody?
Yep, that is correct. Here, Dana, do you want to try throwing one on?
Okay.
A bit too far away for me to reach.
All right.
The animal management person. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I forgot standing up was not a thing I should do.
She hurt her foot earlier.
Believe in yourself. You're an ancient deity. If you don't, no one will.
It's a little too far to be seated. All right.
This is another hard
This
question.
is yes. This is for a drawing.
This is a really specific thing from episode 38.
What movie does Cecil love?
I don't think. These alternate between really specific and really general.
Cat Baloo.
No.
Nope.
No. Yeah. No. Okay, no one probably knows. It's Liberty Valance.
Oh, Man Who Killed Liberty Valen.
That one was way too specific, I think. Okay. You want to read? Alright, yeah.
What was the number girl's name?
You already got one.
You in the back?
That is correct.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be difficult.
You hit my double.
Oh!
You threw one at the hooded figure. Don't look at the hooded figure.
It bounced off the hooded figure and hit your double.
There's gotta be some symbolism in that.
Yeah, most likely.
Alright, I have another one. Alright, hey, you skipped me. Alright, what happened to Megan in episode 40? You were first.
She got her body.
How did she get her body?
It was uncovered in the submarine.
Sure. We'll go with that, it's close enough. It wasn't actually her body, it was a guy from Nolgorsk. He donated a body, yeah, his body. Your turn.
What was Faye?
Link.
She already got one.
Link already got one.
Oh, let's go next to Link there.
That is surprisingly specific and yes, correct. Oh my gosh, does the hooded figure have a Big Rico's pizza?
It does.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I need to order.
Please.
I didn't get
hungry.
Yes, so I want a Big Ricky's pizza. Exactly.
What?
Real trivia?
Yeah, we'll keep going. Not the first one though, because that was
Yeah.
way too easy.
Oh, I love this one.
Who cut Carlos's hair?
Oh.
Remember, if you
Please
guys have
don't-
answered, please put your hands down.
Please don't raise your hand if you've already gotten a glow plug, even if you know the answer. I'm sorry.
Telly
Well-
the barbarous barber.
I like that. Yeah. I don't think he's actually described as barbarous though.
Ironic, he's actually got a haircut since the last panel. So it's not short.
Still perfect.
It is still perfect.
What happened to Telly?
Okay, so he ended up in the desert, like cutting a little cactus. What are they? Spiky thingies. Thorns? Thorns, I think is what they're. I don't know, needles.
Spines?
Yeah, and then he
Spines.
was drinking cactus juice.
Was he really drinking cactus juice?
I think.
Well, it's the
was it?
squishiest. Nothing squishier.
Yeah, okay, that's probably where I got that.
Yeah, that's close enough. He also went insane and was clutching scraps of hair.
In A Story About You, what was in the crate that you took? I think your hand is up first.
A small house.
Perfectly detailed miniature house.
Close enough.
What was under Lane 5 at the Desert Flower Bowling Alley and Arcade Fun Complex?
That's a classic.
An underground civilization?
Yes. And it's miniature.
Oh.
Nice catch.
Carlos learned his sign.
Get better at this.
I take it back.
You're rubbing off. I'm rubbing off on you.
Totally.
Okay. This is another really obscure question. I didn't know it, but apparently Kevin did. So if you get it right, you get a drawing. How old is Tamika Flynn? Oh, apparently not so obscure. Yeah, sure. Actually, wait, no, you have a glow cloud.
Oh, it doesn't mean trying.
Yeah.
I
Someone
can
who hasn't
put
won
my
anything
glow
yet.
cloud back.
Yeah, you in the back. No. Yeah. Yes.
Come on up.
Come
on up, you got a drawing.
Yeah. You can pick a drawing.
You can't throw drawings.
No. Without record.
Paper
Put them in the
airplanes.
airplanes.
But that would wreck them.
Yeah.
And that would still require us to throw them.
Yeah.
Use your mind power.
We have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, we have 5 minutes? All right.
Everyone do hard ones?
Well, this is the last panel slot.
Sure.
So we can, unless they kick us out, we can go later if you guys want to stay.
Yeah.
We still have a bunch of glow clouds up here to give away. So anyone who wants to leave at 1 a.m. can, but we'll stay for probably a while longer. Okay, alright, we run.
All hail the glow cloud. And now
That
for
is
the
correct.
actual question. What was the NRA's first new gun slogan? You there in the hat.
Guns don't kill people. We are all in this with bullets and it's America.
Bingo.
That is correct. Oh.
I got pretty far. Halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
This is not the weather.
No.
Yeah, the desert bluffs would know about weather.
It's always sunny.
Too soon.
I'm walking on sunshine.
No.
No.
Hey, Steve, go ahead.
All right. What did the shape in Grove Park do when Cecil started talking about it? You're the first hand I saw with how the glow cloud.
Didn't it start violently humming?
No.
Green. Yes.
Did it start glowing violently and she glow red?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see if I can throw it. Nope.
All right. The next question is a hard question. There are 3 right answers.
If you get 1 or 2, you get a glow cloud. All 3 a drawing.
What were the drawbridge base supports made out of?
This was also a question from Fusion. All of these are right now. Yeah. Does anyone know one answer? You already got a glow cloud. Yes, that's one answer.
You want to go for 3? Go.
Blue?
No.
Red.
You still get a glow cloud though.
But I already got one.
Oh.
Alright then.
Sorry, no answer.
The answer was corrugated cardboard, non-dairy creamer, and ceramic bowls.
None of which are good to build a bridge on. But it's
So
Night
said
Vale,
Steve
so-
Carlsberg.
Why did station management come out of its office before it was, of course, removed to the empty lot?
Cecil.
In the back there.
Cecil was talking too much.
No.
No.
Not about Carlos. I think John had his hand up.
Yeah, go for it.
Cecil was like describing too much about how we feel and
Sure, we'll go
No,
with it.
close enough in the neighborhood. They was describing what they looked like, and people were writing letters to them. All right, John, you can do this.
Yeah, do the windy thing.
Or not.
Or not.
Got right to him.
Package.
Basketball down.
Okay. Where are people who vote incorrectly are taken by the secret police?
You already got a glow cloud. You also did. You in the army. Or sorry, you get
secret leases bunker to never be seen by anyone ever again.
Well, where is the bunker? I don't know. I guess that's close enough.
Isn't it underneath the abandoned mine tunnel?
Yes, it is in the abandoned mine shaft. Stop attacking my double.
I can't hold
You're
it.
triple. You both look whatever.
Really nice.
My twin. Just triple.
Your brother, always vibrating at breakfast.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip to this one really hard because I like this question.
I love this one. This is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, if you get all 3 countries, then you get a drawing. If you get 1 or 2, gold card, obviously. Where did Cecil go on his trip to Europe?
I already have a glow cloud, but...
Oh. Does anyone else know? No, it's not Uganda. Sure, you can go ahead and answer.
Svitz, Francia, and Luftnarp.
That is correct. Sure, why don't you come up and like exchange or whatever?
Okay. Yeah, I want to give prizes to as many people as possible.
Good choice. I like the fashion. Should we stop? We still have glow clouds to give away.
But I've got to be bored.
All right. Vanessa needs to go. We'll continue with.
Do you want me to leave these here?
Sure. We'll continue with trivia. If you guys want to stay and still try and win a glow cloud. Otherwise, you can leave since it's getting really late.
People need to sleep.
Good night, Night Vale.
Good night. Aren't you from Desert Blood?
Yeah, but he's in
I don't
Night Vale right now.
Jilly was apparently got like. All right. Jilly can't find her roommate.
All right,
So I might need to drive her over to the hotel.
Hey, Cecil.
Yeah.
There were more people coming out of the Desert Bluffs motel than ever went into them. When are we going to hear about that? Also, I want to hear about that walk incident.
We don't talk about the walk incident.
But walk.
Walk. Fashion baby. Work it. What? Oh, yeah. What color do you want? Alright.
You answered the question about oranges, though. You grabbed the orange. It's okay now. Green's my favorite color, too.
It's not creative though.
It does. It can be good practice.
Yeah. Alright. Bye, Steve.
See you. Thank you for having me on. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Steve. Bye, Steve.
Goodbye.
She's starting, I think.
I do.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. What question was? We're on the PTA one.
I can.
All right.
Get this one?
Yeah.
What came through the portal in the PTA meeting episode?
They know. How about see the double over there? Do you know? Our triple.
Your hand was up first.
They already got gold clothes. It is not. Red guy. It is pterodactyls.
They were discovered. They were in fact pterodactyls.
Yes. Alrighty. What should you do if there's a red flag on a piece of trash?
You already got a glow cloud.
One of these threws first. I kind of.
Do the one in the black.
Black one.
I don't know. Don't touch it. No.
Nope. Cecil.
Didn't you just get one? Oh, no.
Nope.
No.
No flag goes in the bag. Red flag, run.
That's correct.
Exactly. I need it. Oh, you already have a gold card though. Good one.
Okay, the next one. This is that one. Oh, sure.
What did all wheat and wheat byproducts turn into?
The kids again. Anyone else
Go.
know?
I do, but I want.
How about the guy in the back? Girl. Yeah. That is correct. Snakes. Yes, and then they turned into evil spirits.
You guys
I'm
have
surprised
an
at your
knowledge.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much you know.
Not the right bus, not the bus I need. I'm waiting for the bus in the rain and another stop. Waiting to get a real high speed. Waiting for the bus to the picture of another bus. Waiting for the bus.